reading this stuff and you're worrying about this stuff, you are worshiping the Illuminati. That is worship. You are paying fealty with fear, because that's all they need. Hitler's quote, "I do not care for the allegiance of the people. All we ask for is their fear." That's all they want. So when you fear them, they win.
If you become, like my grandfather, focused on service and love and giving thanks consistently to our great Creator, there won't be a Rockefeller, a Rothschild, or a Kissinger who will terminate you before your time.
I also almost fell off my seat when I watched this Disney movie called Monsters, Inc. If you haven't seen Monsters, Inc., the story was that in the monster world, as they called it, they had no energy source. And so what they did, they had a power station in the monster world, and the people working for it used to turn up to work every morning, line up, and then these doors would come up in front of them, symbolic of interdimensional doorways. And then when the hooter went off or whatever, they walked through that doorway and they walked into a child's bedroom in the human world. They went into another dimension. And the monster's job was to frighten the child. When the child screamed, to catch the scream, the fear, in a tube thing, and come back into the monster world to then power that, because it had no energy source. And I thought, sod in hell, I've heard that somewhere before.
When you feel fear towards someone who is oppressing you, your fear shoots energy back into their field. Okay? When you feel fear, you are shooting energy out of your field. When you feel love and trust, you are building energy from the cosmos to yourself.
He is the one.
You know what I realized, Dr. Powell? Dying's something you have no control over. Why waste your life being afraid of it? I'll sleep on my stomach from now on. I'll eat fish with bones in it. I'll swallow the biggest pill you can find. Bring it on. I feel good.
In the heart is a sacred space where creation takes place, and that living within this sacred space changes one's relationship to all of nature and to the universe. The brain has an ego that sees itself separate from the reality and also sees itself as the most important part of the reality. But within the heart, one is not separate from the reality, but becomes one with the reality. There is no separation, and all parts are equal.
What you and I are asking ourselves to do in this lifetime, through the temples of our emotions, through the temples of our relationships, is to find that balance between the logical mind and the wisdom of the heart, and live that balance day in and day out. That becomes the compassion that we choose to have in our lives. Every emotion, each feeling, each response that you choose to any given situation affects every other person on this earth to some degree. That's the beauty of the holographic model. That's the power in compassion.
Your heart has a little cavity between the two ventricular of the heart, and that little cavity has the highest electromagnetic field of your body. It can be measured up to 8 feet away from you.
If we simply, with love and thanks, it's real easy, continue to put out these frequencies and these sounds, that the spiritual renaissance will literally solve all the earth's problems.
If someone sends you hate and you react with hate, then you're acting at the lowest level it's possible to act at. If someone sends you hate and you react indifferently, you're sort of average. But if someone sends you hate or anger and you react with love, because that's what's inside, and that's all you have to give away, because that's how you choose to use that dimension that is in back of your form, or suffusing your form, then that is what you will start expecting and seeing in your world. And it becomes a way of living.
There's some kind of bigger thing we can all appreciate. And it sounds like you don't mind calling it God. But when you forgive, you love. And when you love, God's light shines on you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the true thing is, I know we're creating a scene, but creating a scene is not illegal. You were born free, you will live free, you will die free. You are allowed to make a scene, you're allowed to scream for joy, you're allowed to complain, you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to love people, you're allowed to hug people. And we're starting to live in a world where we're starting to feel scared. We're starting to forget just how divine and special we are as human beings. Every single one of you is the only example of you that will ever exist. And there's not a single authority on this world, especially not private security men, who can tell you how to behave in any time, any place, anywhere.